maybe I feel like I was finding a struggle into like detecting which one was going to move and which one not, because for 1 month straight I was like trading ZAR only, and then I switched from there. So from there onwards, I started to adapt and started to like see which, not just ZAR in the morning, however, to see like different things in the morning.
Yep.
So I think like is a problem that is going to get over. It's not like a massive problem.
I mean, what's the how do you go about it in the morning? Obviously, you'll have an anticipate if there's an anticipation the night before and it's super obvious. Do you have like how many charts do you look at? Like for me in the morning, I'll have the ones that I think have potential. I just have multiple charts with the crosses to see the fractional disparity, and then I just make my mind up
Yeah,
as it
just
progresses, and I cross them off as I go until I'm left with like two.
the just a second. We're just gonna end this webinar and then start one,
Yeah.
and then we'll discuss that one. I'm gonna find a crack for Zoom.
Find it.
Yeah, we ain't paying for
You'd
this.
be our hero, man. Find it.
We ain't paying for
What's
this.
that?
I was like, we gotta find a crack for Zoom.
Oh.
Leo hates paying for shit. He just wants to steal. Just wants to steal shit. Okay, man.
Let's get
Here's the thing. Like, you need to be so good in the pairs that you are watching, because you are not watching setups that you do not have a conviction on.
Mm.
You watch the setups that you know in history play out, right? Like,
Mm.
before you can ask that question, which is a fantastic question, you need to understand, why am I watching? Why are these pairs specifically on my watch list? Why?
Mm.
Is it because I just love them the way they move, or is it because do they actually play out more often than the others? Do they give me easier setups? Are they easy to understand them when they happen? And do they actually go on their times? What is the spreadsheet of these pairs going on London? So I was telling Leo that when I was with Steve, um, Steve would never do like a one-on-one session because we were so many. So what he would do is he puts us inside a group, and then we just watch. We find the flashcards of any pair, right? Of any pair, M formations, W formations, V formations, peak formations, all that shit. We find them, bundle it up in a group, in the file folder, send it to him, and then he will decide next week or after 2 weeks if he when he goes through them, and then he will give us an update on who did the right work and who didn't. But what I found out is that this method to me doesn't work. The trading of AU during GBP doesn't work. Finding beautiful setup on what's this, UJ on GBP doesn't work. So I lost, even though I was with him, but I still lost. The psychology was good, but Steve did not teach me which will go, which will hold. Because to him, it was just about patterns. Just find this and you'll be good. Not understand the sessions and understand what pair you need to focus on. That has a higher probability of working out. That is, we have never gotten to the crux of the consistency in a particular pair because we were jumping from pair to pair to pair to pair on session to session to session to session to session. It didn't make sense for me and I was losing money and I'm like, dude, I just fucking sold my car for all this shit and I'm not making money. Like, why? I see informations, dude, but now why? And then he's like, I am losing focus. I cut him out. Because of that, it's like, dude, you don't have any clue how much time I'm spending here and I'm seeing these setups and I'm showing you, dude, these setups, they are failing me. They are failing me. So tell me what's the problem. And then he shows me he shows me the charts on the less time frames than the time frames I was studying my entire career on. So he shows me the 3-minute time frame that I lost my focus. I was showing, I showed Leo the conversation. He's like, I'm the one who's losing focus. I cut him out. I'm like, there's no fucking way. There has to be a consistency in what Steve is teaching. Mentality wise, psychologically wise, yes, fantastic. That's what I learned, everything. But the consistency of the patterns, I had to really fucking go deep on them. Only to find out that the answer is right there staring in my face. Why don't you focus on the G's during the G time? Because the G's move, right? So if the G's move during their session, why in the fuck would I want to trade UJ during G time? Why would I do that? E is part of G. European and GBP, they trade the same time. So E and G is good to trade. But why is it that I would spend a lot of my time trying to find setups on E when G is consistent, or A, U, or AJ, but G is consistent? So I really started to take everything off. I took everything off and I'm like, wait, you know what? For the next year or two, I am just going to study the G's during their session. And what I found out in year 2 is like, dude, focus on the major, and then focus on EG, and then focus on GCAD, and then focus on GJ and G Swiss. Just focus on those ones. Focus on the things that have the G in them. That's where I started to see, oh, consistency. This one goes. Okay, this pattern goes. Now the information I was learning on the AU and the WAP, I took the same type of patterns, applied them to the G's, and boom, the setups, here are they. Here they are. They are playing out. So this is where I started to understand the niche, or the niche, whatever. I started to understand my edge. My edge was not in anything else because I was losing in everything else. My edge was the G's. Especially when I see the G's, GU and GCAD and G Swiss and GJ. That's where I was like, M formations here, W formations here, perfect. No fucking peak formation I needed, no daily time frames needed, no other time frames. Only this 15 minutes and this time, I will make it. And I started to make my money back that way. So this ties in with your question. Like, I have gotten to a point where it is not about I need to feel what pairs will go and what won't. If what you see on my watch list and nothing is happening on those there's nothing for me to do, bro. I won't do anything because my history has taught me that if I do anything outside of G's, you are gonna feel pain. And I felt it. So your question is great. That's why I'm saying it's not about feeling what pair is gonna go and what pairs. You need to know your patterns, not patterns. You need to know your pairs that you are gonna really sink your teeth into.
So I don't know my pairs well enough.
Yes,
That's it.
yes, sir. Because when I talk about the GSEC, GSEC is still part of G, right? When I talk about EuroSEC, EuroSEC is still part of G, still, because they are on the G time. So it's easy to trade those, even GNOC, they are part of Gs, because if they make beautiful stop hunt lows, all of them, let's say GU makes a stop hunt low, beautiful vector candles, and G Swiss makes vector candles, GJ makes vector candles, guess what? All the other Gs, I don't care if it's exotics or not, they're gonna issue you the vector candles. All Gs across the board. So I found the key of my consistency. So I found out that, okay, let me now transition to exotics. Okay, I've seen G's. I know 1, 2, 3 on G's. I know 1 GU, 2 G Swiss, 3 GJ. I know this 1, 2. If these 3 are where I want them, I'm gonna see a setup on it. That's where the 1, 2 and the 1, 2, 3 pattern comes from. The 1 is GU, the 2 is G Swiss, the 3 is GJ. And then GK is just an addition with G Swiss. Those are the additions. But the 1, 2, 3 pattern, they come from there. So I took the same shit and transitioned to the exotics. Like, people are scared of exotics, but what if I take this same G mentality and watch GSEC? And I found that I've seen the G tries, I've seen the G whatevers, the G Mexican peso. I've seen them. They are failing me. But G NOC and GSEC are consistent during the G time. So you see how deep you need to go. So I went to the G's, and I was still trading the same patterns on the same G, because I have the consistency in my mind that these things, they go at that time and that time only. So if it happens that GJ moves during Asia or US, that's not for me. It's not consistent. So consistency is on the G's and the E's way more often than anything else I've seen. So you need to understand your pairs to the point where if those things don't happen the way you want them, you are not going to have any stress. The EG and the G Swiss, EG, G, there's G in it. So I'm trading the same thing. Even if I'm trading EG, and it is still the same thing. So when you see me trading E Swiss, E goes with the G time. But now, okay, here's the question now. But wait, doesn't make sense. Why are you trading U Swiss now? Because you're saying, okay, how often does U Swiss play out? Not that often than the G's. So the only time when I trade the U Swisses, especially U Swiss, the only time I trade U Swiss, it is only when the G's are utter garbage. And then EU is right there and U Swiss is down here. But all the G's are garbage. Okay, I will only trade U Swiss with E. But I want to see what E is doing, because the backside of it is U is doing what E is doing. Everything is interconnected, bro. So before I can try to make a setup on U, I want to see what E is doing, because E is the kid of the G's. So it makes it easier for me to make my decision. But I know that I am not gonna take most of my money and pile them on the U, because U is not what I'm really good at. I'm good at the G's and the ZOS. So my consistency is key. How often does this go? How often doesn't this go? Okay, go, bro.